Since the bombshell revelations by General Mkhwanazi, South Africans are no longer speaking in hushed tones. Words like mafia state, criminal state, captured state, banana republic, they've exploded into the national conversation. These aren't just dramatic slogans anymore. They're everyday vocabulary. The people are trying to describe the rot they smell in the air, the decay in government, the fear in communities, the silence after another whistleblower is murdered. You hear these words on taxes, in WhatsApp groups, in Parliament, in the township, in the suburbs, in church. But do we really know what they mean? Or have we accepted the noise without understanding the depth of the danger? This is not just an audio. It's a translation of reality. A bold, clear explanation of the crisis we're living in, where cartels run the state, capture is systemic, and collapse is engineered from the inside. We will break it down fearlessly. What is a mafia state? What makes a criminal state? How does a government turn into a cartel empire? What does it mean to be a banana republic? And why are honest people always dying in a captured state? If you're tired of sugar-coated headlines, if you know something is deeply wrong but don't, have the words for it. And if you want to face the truth, because only truth can set a nation free, then keep listening. This is Cartels, Capture, Collapse, How South Africa Became a Criminal State. Let's begin *1. Mafia state. A mafia state is when government operates like an organized crime syndicate. The president and top officials don't serve the people. They serve themselves and their inner circle. Like a mafia boss, they use intimidation, patronage, and violence to control. The system. Appointments are not based on merit, but on loyalty. State contracts are dished out to cronies like mafia favors. Justice is manipulated. Whistleblowers are silenced. Fear rules. South African example. When you have high-ranking officials protecting drug lords, blocking investigations, or assassinating rivals using state resources, you're not in a democracy. You're in a mafia state. 2. Criminal state. A criminal state is a step further. The entire machinery of the state is repurposed to commit crime. Laws are twisted not to protect citizens, but to legalize theft, suppress dissent, and cover up wrongdoing. The government itself is a massive criminal enterprise, stealing from pension funds, looting public companies, rigging tenders, and trafficking influence. South African example. When state-owned entities like Eskom, Transnet, and Prasa become pipelines for looting, and ministers are the getaway drivers, you're in a criminal state. 3. Banana republic. A banana republic is a chaotic, ungovernable country with no rule of law. It's run by incompetents who care more about slogans than delivery. Institutions are weak, courts are politicized, police are corrupt, and elections are farcical. Infrastructure collapses, currencies tank, and people lose faith in everything. South African example. When potholes are everywhere, water is undrinkable, load shedding is permanent, schools are falling apart, and the government blames colonialism 30 years after liberation. That's banana republic behavior. 4. State infiltrated by cartels. This refers to a country where powerful cartels, economic, political, or criminal, operate inside the state. They are not external threats. They are embedded. These cartels can control procurement, dominate key departments, assassinate threats, and manipulate media narratives. The state becomes hijacked from within, and policy decisions serve the cartel, not the public. South African example. Construction mafia, tender cartels, and political fixers who ensure certain companies always win, even if they deliver nothing. Those who expose this often end up dead. 5. Rotten state. Looters and thugs in charge, a rotten state is a government so decayed that virtue is punished and vice is rewarded. Looters sit in parliament. Known thieves become ministers. Honest? Workers are sidelined or assassinated. The public no longer trusts government at all. Corruption is not an anomaly. It is the system. South African example. when police generals are drug lords, when mayors have murder cases, when public money builds mansions while citizens live without toilets. That's a rotten state. 6. Captured state capture is when private interests gain control of the levers of the state, especially strategic institutions like the Treasury, police, courts, or procurement agencies. It's not just corruption, it's systematic, high-level hijacking. It's when a family or faction owns the state, uses it to enrich themselves, and protects themselves from accountability. South African example: the Gupta family's grip on Zuma-era government, deciding cabinet appointments, writing speeches for ministers, controlling SOEs. It's state capture when policy no longer reflects the will of the people, but a one powerful private clique. Final word: when all these terms apply at the same time, you are not in a democracy. You are in a hostage situation. And South Africa is now living under exactly that: a mafia state where loyalty is more powerful than law. A criminal state where the state itself breaks laws daily. A banana republic where no one is accountable. A cartel-infested state where syndicates assassinate whistleblowers. A rotten state where virtue is punished. A captured state where political parties are owned by economic kingpins. The only way out is for citizens to name the truth boldly, stand in resistance, and build parallel structures of hope, honesty, and enterprise from the bottom up.
When you walk away from South Africa, when you look from afar, patterns emerge: chaos without overhaul, high-level scandal, inquiry, no consequences, repeat. A captured state, public institutions serve private interests, cartels in plain sight. From transport extortion to tender rigging, the syndicates are not hidden there in plain view. When top police leaders are accused of colluding with crime syndicates, the very number one guardian of public safety, the police, the country becomes cartel enforcer. Commissions of inquiry have become the go-to response, yet little changes. The Minister of Police suspension echoes a familiar pattern: symbolic gestures replacing systemic reform. While the rod continues, this isn't about rogue criminals. It's cartels permeating core institutions from courts and police to provincial government. Public frustration is exploding. Murders are near 27,000 a year. Infrastructure crumbling. The economy stalling. Public trust in government institutions is fading fast. Yet the same broken tools remain in place: commissions, inquiries, gestures. South Africa ranks 82nd on Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index. With public faith in anti-corruption near zero, South Africa is at a crossroads. The difference between a functioning democracy and a criminal state lies in how it responds. Will independent institutions, judiciary, media, civil society hold the line? Will political alliances demand real accountability or settle for symbolic commissions? Or will cartels and cadre politics morph the country into a hollow mimicry of democracy? Packaged in parliamentary procedure, but rotten at the core, the real question: is this latest scandal the turning point, or just another replay in South Africa's ongoing crisis of institutional collapse? Mkhwanazi's charges go beyond isolated misconduct. They allege criminal syndicates operating inside state institutions, controlling task teams, obstructing investigations, and shielding their networks. Faith in state institutions is collapsing. Opposition parties and civil groups are rightly outraged. Investors and nervous. Crime is estimated to shave about 10% of GDP annually. The question is whether this latest crisis will spark real reform or be yet another headline. Walking away from the turmoil, here's what we see: the stakes are existential. This is a battle not just for corruption, but for the soul of the republic. Real change requires more than inquiries. It demands prosecutions, empowered watchdogs, institutional rebuilding, not just another commission. The next move determines the future. Will citizens demand politics with consequences or accept hollow choreography? South Africa stands at a crossroads: collapse or cleanse, resilience or relapse. Symbolic gestures or systemic overhaul. The threat from cartels and captured state must be met with unflinching justice. Otherwise, our future posture will say, "We chose narrative over accountability."